So I decided to do something stupid and fit the blade of the crappy Houm fan onto the far superior National fan. Now the reason I say that the Houm is a crappy fan is it's broken, and for reasons why I have no idea, but a new fan of 3 years old should not be broken, especially one that costs 225 ringgits. And if you look closely, the blade from the National is mounted on the shaft of the Houm. Now the National blade requires a it's mounted on the end there, it screws onto the motor shaft. But the Houm, it has a side screw. Actually, that should be called the set screw, right at the side. The Houm blade uses the set screw, while the National blade uses a shaft screw. The Houm motor shaft is slightly smaller than the National, which means that it fits a little bit well. I say a little bit because it's just a tiny little bit off balance. Anyway, I'm going to show you the first speed. And yes, I'm lazy. I'm sitting my ass on my chair with wheels, so you'll hear that. You can see what I mean about it being off balance. And you can hear it's not the quietest fan either. Well, not the quietest blade. Or not the quietest fan, since it's all assembled now. Airflow is kinda okay though, but it just feels very unfocused, like it blows air all over the place. Whereas the National blade, that thing can throw some air like a laser. Not as good as a tornado, those are designed to laser beam air around the room. But for a non-tornado, this is surprisingly tornado. If you get what I mean, I don't know. Here's speed 2. It kind of sounds like an airplane, and it sounds even noisier. Maybe I should... Yeah, it's more even on the left side now. Maybe the wardrobe was blocking it. And yes, I made sure the set screw is nice and tight. And so is the shaft screw. Here's speed number 3. It's noisy as hell. The cage even shakes a little bit. I'm not sure if... I think that is most likely caused by the Houm blade being designed for the slightly smaller shaft of the Houm motor. Wait, actually, it's either bigger or smaller, I am not sure. Either way, the National blade fits on the Houm motor, and the Houm blade fits on the National motor. Straight to speed 2. I wonder what it sounds like from the back. And next up, you guess it, straight to full power. seems to spin down a little bit better when blowing straight ahead. Here we go. We listen closely, we can actually hear it has a little bit of motor whine. Although I doubt you'll be able to hear it over the noisy ass Houm blade. Speaking of which, I think the Houm blade is just naturally unbalanced because the black tube doesn't seem to be unbalanced. If I spin it up a little, you can see the black tube stays still, but the cage shakes, and so does the blade. I'm not sure what the difficulty is of balancing a plastic blade versus a metal blade, but it shouldn't be too difficult. After all, 100-year-old General Electric and Emerson fans are still running with the original blades in perfectly balanced condition. Even when unrestored, yes, those exist. Unrestored, original 100-year-old GEs and Emersons running their original brace blades, perfectly balanced. If they can do it, so can Houm. We have the technology too. Technology only advances. Well, I don't know how true that statement is, but it doesn't seem rather true with a Houm fan. But anyway, that's it. I'm going to switch back to the National blade and then do a noise and airflow comparison.